All right, we are here on a Friday evening. It is hot, and we are coming in hot with the Disc and That podcast show. So, with you is Southpaw Rob, and we have...
Guys, how's it going? This is C-Rod. Hope everyone's doing all right. Again, off to a wonderful weekend with us. We appreciate you tuning in. We sit here today with another great guest, someone who's involved heavily in the San Antonio community. If you live here, it's someone you should know. Debby?
Hi, how are y'all tonight?
We're doing great. Thank you so much for coming on the Disc and That podcast show.
Yes, thank you.
Debbie, we've been looking forward to this day. So just kind of give us your PDGA number and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my PDGA is 191325. I was one of the COVID starters.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So I was a teacher, taught for 27 years.
Wow.
And when COVID hit, spring break didn't end. And so I needed something to do.
Yeah.
And so I used to go walking at Nanny and just happened to notice people throwing these frisbee-looking things.
What's going on?
And I recognized somebody that I knew.
Really?
One of my daughters used to model, and one of her photographers was throwing.
Really?
And so I approached him and had him show me what it was kind of about, and went out and bought a starter kit, and there you go.
Cool.
Kind of went from there.
What was the thing that hooked you?
Initially, just the challenge of something new and being outside. After that, the community. Didn't matter age, gender, your background. Just very inclusive of everything, and that was pretty exciting because I hadn't really been a part of any of that before.
Agreed. And everyone you meet in the disc golf community is so welcoming. Kind of makes it hard to not like the sport. So yeah,
even if you play bad, I think even like at minis or at tournaments, you see a lot of people. I've met a lot of really good friends at tournaments, and I know you've been involved with a lot of different organizations, and we'll get to those here in a little bit. But man, there's been a lot going off in the disc golf world.
Right.
There's been so many things out there in the national level, on the local level. I feel like there's been a tournament like every weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely the busy part of the season, I would say. Quick recap, national. The World Championships.
Oh, the World Championships. I told you Isaac Robinson was going to win. I told you.
He did call it.
I did call it. And
I was big on Calvin, who didn't upset, but for being the number one golfer, I think he did to some. But to recap it, everyone played. It was amazing. Going into the last day, I even with Isaac Robinson having the lead, I still didn't know who was going to win that.
And it was a beautiful course, and that up there in Vermont, it's beautiful. I
was jealous the whole time watching it.
And it came down to really at the end of it, his consistency, right? Isaac Robinson. But then if you look at the FPO side of it, just the dominance and the sheer consistency of what Kristen Tatar offers the FPO field. And like a lot of people are talking, like she's been this and she's been that, and like they've never seen it. Well, they saw it with Paige Pierce.
Yeah.
She was doing the same kind of thing early on, and she was definitely winning tournaments by a lot, margin. So I think that storyline is kind of one that's going into USDGC, which is the other big tournament that's coming up in South Carolina, I believe.
Yeah, and by then, probably no Paige. She's probably out for the year, but
no Paul either. No Paul McBeth either.
No Paul. So you're going to have different champions this year, and
I feel like that's been the theme throughout the year. Like you've had your winners, your Rickies, your Calvins, but you've also had first time winners, and then you've had people who have never won. Like Corey Ellis,
Kyle Klein, Adam Hammes.
Yeah, and they're definitely worth watching and worth seeing what's going on there. And if you don't have access to the Disc Golf Network, I would highly recommend watching their content, or Jomis Pro. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there, but if you want to see it live, definitely the Disc Golf Network is the place to see it. They are long, but you could fast forward it. You could definitely loop it in, and we do have some local pros playing over there as well. Mm-hmm. You have the Mondujanos and you have Mason Ford.
Even Matt Barajas, Mint Disc was out there as well, and then Chris Harris, I believe. Of course, Mason Ford. Also Lucky Ace. So, we just kind of wanted to do a quick recap. Great. It was
There was
nerve-wracking
it wasn't
tournament.
without its controversy. It definitely wasn't.
And Missy, I mean, you got to give it up to her too. She
I think
made a run.
She did.
Yeah, right. I mean, do you have? I mean, I know you mentioned Debbie. You saw some of the women's. Is there anyone particular you were chasing? You know, anyone that you were? I mean, obviously.
Well, I always like watching Valerie. She did finish top 10.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was
After
good.
that, I think she tied for 7.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And I think Alexis, right? I mean, this is a great learning lesson for her. Still being young, she's going to come back and
She's had a good
fight
season.
hard.
Though.
She's had a really good season.
She was in it. She was in it for a minute at that one tournament with Owen.
They came down to the last few holes on that one.
I was rooting for her, but you know, everybody roots for Owen as well. But she's a great person. I know she had some injuries that she fought through during the World Championships. She really showed her character as, you know, the Mondojanos, and it's awesome that they're representing, you know, San Antonio area, and especially with what they're doing with their brand and Lucky Aces. And I know you're a part of Lucky Ace and Mint Disc, Debbie.
Which we'll get to that.
And we'll definitely get to that, but you know, there's also tournaments. The MVP Open is coming up as well.
Discmania Open's happening right now as well too.
Canada,
and it's important because there's about this tournament. I mean, I don't know.
The Silver Series?
It's a Silver Series, and there's a lot of people pushing to get in that top 18, like on the women's side. Men's a little bit more, and so that's why you see some of these bigger stars kind of trying to push their way in right now.
I think they just had the first round today, right? Eagles leading on the. I don't know who's leading. Who's leading on the FPO side?
I believe it's Eagles still. FPO, it's you girl. I didn't catch her name. I'll get it for you here shortly, but. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big field in the FPO side of things on their side, but I was seeing how there's a few people playing right now where they need the points that they're trying to make that top 18. So every tournament for them is important. And and even Isaac Robinson's playing, and you know he's kind of right behind.
He's up there in the top 5,
well,
and you know you definitely have those people. But you know, Debbie, getting into the FPO field, and you know, you definitely talked about how you had your starter set. You know, kind of what happened after that, and what kind of launched you into taking it to another level. You know, when did you first have that realization that, you know, I want to do this and I really enjoy this and this is something I want to do?
So probably after my first year of just kind of casually playing, spent a lot of time at Nanny. It's right out my back door. I used to just walk over there.
Nice.
I played my first tournament in 2021, the Women's Global event, and I was hooked after that. It's like, I can do this.
What was it about that experience that really spoke to you or really resonated with you?
It was the first time I competed, and it's a whole different mindset than just casual play. And it taught me about the focus. It taught me that I could do things I didn't think I could do. You get yourself in a sticky situation, casually, maybe you just kind of fudge a little bit to get out. In a tournament setting, you've got to figure it out. And
it definitely tests your mental strength, and I'm sure that, you know, coming from the teaching field, that, you know, you've been tested more than most, you know. How have you felt that has kind of touched into your disc golf game? And you felt that, is that kind of any overlap there?
With the teaching?
With the teaching, because you mentioned you were a teacher for quite a few years.
So I have enjoyed working with new players. We've had women come out that are a little nervous about starting the women's league. And I'll invite them out to the Zip, and we work together some. I've worked with kids. We had a boys group come out, and Cam and I had a clinic with them. We split them up, and we did some putting and driving, and then played half the course with them. So I do like.
You like the teaching component, the lessons, and definitely.
And I feel like in disc golf, right? I mean, it's like, once you kind of know what's going on, you learn a little bit about something, whether it's the disc, the kind of throws, like, you kind of become like, especially being a teacher, I mean, that probably just comes natural. Like, anytime someone's there, and especially with all the newcomers, they appreciate all the tips, and then you already, you know, that's kind of firsthand to you teaching and whatnot. So
being able to break a task down into small parts.
Right, yeah.
Is important.
The pedagogy side of it.
And you know, that's exactly why we have you here, right? Someone that could be a point of contact to some of these people who are just entering the game. I know we were talking about that earlier, or maybe they just moved to San Antonio. You play a heavy part in the Wildflower Tour as well too, which we'll get to that as well. But I mean, just again, guys, you know, Deb, this is someone who you should know, someone that you could reach out to as a resource, which is exactly why she's on today. But yeah, I mean, kind of just tell us a little bit more about I mean, I know I mentioned the Wildflower Tour. I mean,
I'm real excited about that.
Yeah.
So It kind of started with the 4 main ladies of Mint.
Okay.
We had Chrissy Fountain, Renee, blanking on names now.
And Renee does
Stephanie,
like rad disc golf, right? I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Stephanie Vincent, and who did I leave out? Yeti's wife.
Des.
Des.
Yeah.
And so they kind of put this together after the WTF Open last year. They said we need something that's just all about women. It was very exciting at that to have so many women competing, and so they started reaching out to potential TDs, and we had 8 events initially. I think we ended with 9 when we added Dallas.
Nice.
And it's events run by women, for women. It's really been very exciting.
No, yeah, no, and so with that, is it local? Is it just throughout Texas?
It's all in Texas.
Okay.
They've been in the San Antonio area, the Austin area, Houston, and then the one in Dallas. And then just off near the coast, near Houston. I didn't make that one a cut.
Okay. Gotcha. Is it like I guess we had Amy on. She kind of let us know a little bit about it. Kind of like the hot tour. It goes by standings, everything like that.
And you collect points.
You're right,
so
right,
there'll be a
okay.
points
There'll be a
stand.
championship at the end of it, and you'll be invited to.
They'll be back at the ranch.
Oh, nice.
No,
Yeah.
nice. So tell
Speaking
us.
of that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the Mint one. That's happening in Red Rock. So it's
What's happening in Red and Moody's?
in Moody's.
Moody's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So excited. So
When
hopefully
is that? Do you know?
December.
December. Is it the same around? Is it a little later or earlier?
So my event's in October. I want to say ours is in November at the end.
Okay.
It's
nice.
roughly once a month.
Gotcha. All right. And so tell us about your personal success with the Wildflower Tour. Where do you stand right now?
Right now, I'm number 1 in the points for 50, the age protected 50
Nice,
and
nice.
50s.
Nice.
1 point difference between me and Irene, so it's
Oh.
kind of a battle.
Nice.
Those are always the good ones.
We're
So
doing all right.
gotta make it to every event then. The rest of the
It's
year.
been fun. I don't remember. I want to say I was 2nd or 3rd at the first event, and then at Amy's I took 1st,
Nice.
which was exciting. I scored my best round ever at Hillside there.
Oh,
First
nice.
time I went under par. So
Oh,
that was
wonderful.
really exciting.
Heck yeah. That's always a huge. That's just like a milestone right there. That's like
It is.
something off the bucket list.
Yep, it's like,
Yeah.
check.
Yeah. That's hard work right there. You know.
First course I went under on was Greytown.
Okay. That
And
I
then
love it out
once
there.
that happened, it started happening at some
More
point.
frequently.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Once you
I
get a
think I
little
did that
taste,
again.
yeah, you kind of learn from it more. You know, just kind of like, okay, this is what it takes to be there and to shoot that and kind
That
of just
focus
keep
that you were
yourself-
talking
That mental
about.
focus.
Yeah, definitely the mental game. I mean, I guess we talked about that every episode, I think, so far.
It-
Yeah,
it's
like,
the mental side.
Yeah.
It's what's in between the ears, and definitely a big side of it. And you're being sponsored now by several people. Kind of speak to how that started, and give a shout out to who you need to.
So Lucky Ace, I think, kind of started. Jay knew who I was before I knew who he was. I used to go to the Zip and practice a lot,
Nice.
and he noticed me there and asked if I would just cover the shop for him so he could spend the holidays with his family and his son. And I was like, sure. And first thing I did, I said, I won't bother you much, but can I organize in here?
I know.
And he came back and the shop is a whole new shop. And he
Well, it's good.
offered
It's
me the
looking
job. He
And
said,
you've done
"You just
well."
wanna work?"
So for those of you that don't know, she's referring to the Lucky Ace Disc Shop at the Helotes Zip Line, the Hill Country Zip Line. There's also a zip line there, so shout out to Rodney and Michelle. They own that property with a few other
Beautiful
people.
property.
And it's a beautiful course, and she's done some tremendous things, and from hiding disc to hiding rocks, and if you find this rock, you get this much out.
Yeah, my discount rocks. Anything to bring people in.
Yeah.
And most definitely. So what has been so you got invited to be a part of the Lucky Ace team?
So yeah, first I was just running the shop, and then as my skills got a little better and we got to know each other better, he sponsored me on the team,
Nice.
and that's gone well.
Yeah.
And
Obviously. Oh,
That's
yeah,
gone very
yeah.
well, actually.
I mean, I think you were recognized as one of the top MA50 division candidates or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the global, what is it? Let me look it up.
The Global Masters.
Yes, I didn't even know what that was, and somebody had screenshot and posted it. And after my win at Greytown, that was my highest rated round. I had shot from somewhere 15 in the world in my age division to 1.
Nice.
So I was number 1 for a month. And I think I'm number 4 right
I
now.
would like to be number 1 for a day.
But that's a
and
big
so
accomplishment.
That's been cool. And whoever it was that posted that on Facebook, people noticed. People that I don't know noticed. I had a good
I saw that, and I was really proud that you were from our community, and you know, I've seen your game change, and I've seen the progress, and I've seen it grow. As you know, we all grow within the community, but I see you out there active with the community, and definitely with a lot of good causes, and with the Wildflower Tour being one of them, but also helping with this big A tiers. You know, the first A tier that we had here.
Stressful, but fun, I bet.
Yeah.
Been the TD, so it is stressful, and there's a lot of organization. I think you add your special touch to it. That
Amy and I work really well that way. We're both extremely organized.
Yeah.
So we did a women's global event together. I was her co-D for the Blue Bonnet Open,
Oh,
and
nice.
she's my co-TD for my Bull Noodle Bash. So we work well together.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and I think
That's
you
been
also,
good.
I saw you, I mean, you're just everywhere. I saw that you were involved in the Flex over there at Turkey Ridge this past weekend.
I run tournaments all over town.
Yeah,
all over town. Yeah, we
Yeah.
see her all the time.
Definitely. So,
Yes, I run them for Lucky Ace. Hypernova asked me if I would TD
Hypernova.
theirs.
Okay.
Wow,
And
nice.
so that was one at Turkey Ridge.
Nice. And so with this, the global ranking and coming out number 1, I mean, is this, I don't know if that's what led to the sponsorship by Mint?
I'm not sure how that came to be
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, how did that come about?
So Guy messaged me. Now being on the retail side, I am friends with them on
Right.
that end because we order a lot from them. So
Right.
it's not unusual to get a message from Guy.
Yeah, you already got special stamps and everything like that.
And he messaged, said, I'm sending you a package. I just want to see if it's something you could get used to. And I thought, oh, I get to try out a prototype.
Oh yeah,
That's
right.
just what I assumed it was. And the box came in and it had the sponsorship letter in it and the discs.
That's a very
pretty
nice touch.
exciting.
That's a
I
cool.
just assumed it was, here, try this out.
What was your first initial reaction?
I shook a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, am I really seeing this?
Yeah.
And
This
it's
is
and you well deserved, and you definitely have come a long way, and I see just the future going and growing and continue to grow.
So wish I would have discovered it a long time
I know.
We
It's
always
like, I
talk
felt like in
about
my
that.
younger years, just where could I be had I started?
Yeah, we
I hear
always
these people that have played 20 years. It's like I played 3.
Right, and we look at that. It was funny. We've had that conversation many times. It's like, imagine, you know, when our bodies were younger and it didn't take
but
us
I
as
could
long as
bend
to
and flex
recover.
or- yeah.
You know, I can go full speed forehand.
Could
or
do those
something.
2-round tournaments
Easy, no pain.
one day.
Got my ankle
Now I
wrapped
got-
right now.
I
I
know.
rolled it the other day.
I carry ibuprofen constantly now.
It's in the bag.
Yeah, but no, that's great stuff.
What has that experience been like? Now, has anything changed, or have you taken it? You know, what's changed in your game? Do you feel since the sponsorship? What do you bag and stuff like that?
Totally changed my bag.
Yeah,
And the contract didn't say I had to do that. It just says you have to bag some mint.
Yeah.
And so I used to, my mids were mint in the past. Now all but 2 discs are.
nice.
So I've completely turned, until they come up with something to replace that diamond, that one's not losing its spot.
Yeah, that little 6-speed or somewhere.
Is it
in
latitude
there.
64,
It
right?
is.
That's it.
It's
Latitude.
lightweight, it goes for days.
Oh yeah.
I hear they've got something in the works that's likely going to knock it out.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, they've come a long way. You know, we've mentioned them here. I mean, I guess whenever I first found out about them, I'm also a disc golf COVID boomer as well.
Yeah.
And so when I first started throwing mint, they had like, I mean, what it was, Alpha for sure, Mustang, Bobcat.
What was the one first? The Alpha was the first one. The Alpha was definitely the first
Yeah.
one, and they're doing some good things. I mean, they got a lot of good lineup. Their plastic feels good. I know their manufacturer is MVP,
Right.
and but they kind of make it their own with their own stamp, and I
Yeah.
think they do a lot for the community in Austin and just around the area, and sponsoring local players like yourself out of San Antonio, which is great. I mean, I think that's excited to see with what you do with that,
And they got the Sprinkle Valley course coming up too.
I'm
Have you had
excited to try. No, they're going to do it. We were going to, as a team, get to play it last
Really?
week, but Zach had COVID.
Oh
And
man.
so that pushed
Well,
it back a little bit.
Hopefully he gets better soon. So I'm probably assuming he might not be out at the ranch this weekend.
All right.
Maybe he will.
It's been over a week. It's been over a
Oh,
week.
okay.
He may be fine.
Either way,
But
yeah, I'm
it's
sure he
like,
wants
oh,
to
I
be
was
out
so
there.
excited. I was
So,
ready to go.
Gotcha. But yeah, no, I mean, they're doing great things. They got a lot of good tournaments coming up. It's hard for me to decide which ones
Oh, I know.
you can make, can't make.
I wish I could play the ranch this weekend, and there's that beach here that's going on, Rumble with the Ranch, I believe it's called, right?
Yeah,
Right, right.
that's this weekend.
Sponsored by Mint, part of the Hot Tour, I believe.
Part of the Hot Tour. They still got Victoria coming up. They still
know.
got Oktoberfest happening. That's one of my favorites out in Moody's.
Yeah, that'll be end of the month.
Yes. I don't think I'm going to miss that one. I'm pretty sure I'll be out there
You
for
love
that.
Red Rock.
I love Red
Do you
Rock.
like Red Rock?
I've never played it.
It's
I've followed Chrissy once. I followed her card once. I was there to vend. And it's like, can I just go follow a little bit? I want to see what this is about.
It's fun.
It's a fun course. I just wish you had tee pads, but I mean that's the only thing that I would have to say about that. But you know, I mean,
Doesn't
every course
stop you though from wanting to go out.
you just have to throw further back from the thing, and it just and that's the one thing that I had to get used to. And but at the end of the day, it's a beautiful course.
Beautiful piece of land.
And-
It got everything you want in a course, right? Distance, has woods, it has water.
Kind of three configurations. Don't they have two separate courses and then the third day they do sort
Right,
of
yeah,
combine?
the combined course.
It's
What is it
the
called?
so they have estimated profit. They got fire on the mountain, and they got I think it's estimated on the mountain or something like that, or
It's like
fire.
some way to
Fire on the ridge.
Yeah. No, it's called estimated mountain. I believe.
Estimated
That I'm not sure. I
And
just
so
know
you
that
play
it's a
the-
blended one.
Yeah, you play the front nine of estimated profit, and then you play the back nine of fire on the mountain.
Yeah, and that's just that combination. Like I've played the rounds out there, 2 rounds, and then we went back there and did the other round. And that's if you get a chance, that's one place that you definitely want to play.
Yeah.
And
Very challenging, out of bounds. I mean, it's definitely can be a championship level course. It's right up there as far as Texas courses go, with your Turkey Ridges, with your ranches. I mean, it's an awesome course. So if you haven't played it, check it out. Keep an eye on the hot standings as well too, because that's like I said, championships coming up in December, and Debby Wildflower championships coming up November. So
Right. My
Yeah.
event in October.
yeah, try and play as many events as you can to try and be a part of these guys. I'm sure they're going to be fun and it's going to be a good experience. But kind of pivoting back to you, Debbie.
what's your favorite course?
The
Here in
Zip
town, here in
the Zip
town.
and Hillside are
The Zip
probably
and
my
Hillside.
favorite that I play well on.
Okay.
Getting better at McLean.
Okay.
At the beginning, I didn't like it at all.
A lot of people
Um,
like that
but
course, and the
I'm
reason.
learning to
Hated
be,
it today.
It's not about power; it's more about that finesse.
Oh, yeah.
Placement. hmm
Lower speed disc, and that way you
And
can
just slow it down.
and slowing down the disc and definitely hitting your lines. It'll make you pay, and before you know it, you're getting a double. And it's just like you try to be a hero. I need a hero. You're stuck over there in the corner, and then you're just like, "What did I just do?"
Yeah.
Went from getting a bogey to triple, or you birdogey, and you end up
If
putting
you can
your
stay in the fairway, you're good.
Yeah.
That's,
Definitely
that's
teaches
the
you
goal.
how to take your medicine. Like, I mean, you try to be a hero there, like Rob.
I know. I either shoot really well or really bad there. And
But he does most times.
Take a little off my distance to try to stay in the
Oh, yeah,
fairway.
and-
That's my goal.
So, like, what's your favorite disc to throw there at McLean?
The diamond.
The diamond. Yeah,
Because
that's what I figured.
I am most familiar with that disc. I can shape it to do most anything I
Yeah.
want.
Have you
It's pretty
thrown the jackalope down in there?
I like the freetail better.
Freetail? Okay.
I have an older, really domey, flippy.
What year? Do you
freetail.
know what year it is?
2018 or 19?
Do they make
Sublime?
No.
Eternal?
Eternal.
Okay.
Yeah, the Eternal ones are a
Got
little
it
more
from
stable.
Adam Case.
Adam
It's
Case.
nice. It's a great disc.
And that's a nice disc. I can't throw it. I can't throw it to save my life.
Throw it into a roller pretty well.
Throw it.
No, that's good to hear. I mean, and course wise, I don't know if you've traveled much and played many courses out of the state, but I mean, do you have a preference out of San Antonio? I mean, maybe statewide and nationwide that you can recommend to anyone.
Old Settlers is
Oh,
a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
That is a beautiful course. And Roy G. Now that they've
The new
Clean
redesign
it
of
up.
Roy G.
Beautiful.
now that it's cleaned up and
Shout out to Goose. Goose Promotions. I know they have Circle G coming up.
Next
I
weekend.
know he asked if I would come in there.
That
I said,
what?
sorry, I'll be in Conroe
Oh.
competing at the sunflower thing.
That's
I
right.
wish we'd see you there. I know me and Chris are planning on playing that event. For those of you that don't know, it's on Disc Golf Scene. I know there's still spots open. It's going to fill up very quickly. You know,
Here in the last
Yeah.
week.
here in
Yeah.
Texas, people tend to sign up at the last minute for whatever
Mhm.
reason. I
And
guess
the
it's,
first few things I threw or led that made me nervous. Like nobody's where'd you all come from?
Two
And
people going
it just
into
is
the-
what it is now. Yeah,
Right? It's like Saturday night, 2 people, Sunday morning,
it's full.
76.
Or whatever, yeah.
yeah, and that happens.
That's
As a
funny.
TD, you know, that's
It
something
just
that
is what it is. Yeah.
they start coming in. PayPal.
I guess you already know now, though, right? You already
Yeah,
know.
it's like it. Yeah,
It's in a
It's
cup.
gonna fill. It's gonna fill. So that is Circle C, and
Roy G.
and the
And
new
Roy G.
redesigned Roy G. So I don't believe they're in the same day, but I think there's 2 pools. I'm not mistaken. There's 2 pools, and I believe that we'll be playing different tee boxes based on whether the AMs or MA1 will probably play long boxes, and the pros will probably be playing definitely some the long boxes and Roy G, and those are no joke.
Yeah.
Those, it's fun though. It
Yeah,
really
yeah.
is just like you
just
said.
have
It's
to
like
know. Yeah.
it's like a swollen, like a bigger McLean. It's
Yeah.
like you hit these trees early, and then you're gonna get a boat. You're gonna get a boat,
Yeah.
and it's one of those courses that's just fun. It's challenging, and I think that's one of my new favorite courses. That and
It's definitely one of my favorites. And then Circle C is another favorite. It's just natural, nice course.
beautiful.
Yeah,
and
I
it's,
only played that once, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's fun. It's a tough one. I mean, it'll definitely make you pull your hair out on a few.
It's a definitely technical course. It's a technical, and you got a few long holes, but like you can get yourself easily in trouble there.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of those courses that you probably end up throwing that diamond quite a bit. What do you throw for your overstable disc? Do you throw forehand, backhand? What's your
Oh, I'm
dominance?
just a backhand.
Backhand?
I can forehand to get out of some trouble, but it doesn't have any real distance. I can shape some things, but they're short.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need. I mean, just,
Isaac Robinson.
yeah. I mean, he uses it when he needs to, but for the most part, I mean, he finds a way to make that backhand work. So
That was impressive though. Like seeing that at Worlds, like I don't know if y'all saw that, but when people were going forehand on some of these shots and he was throwing a turnover over OB into parking that same shot and
Game
landing it on a dime.
that's called practice, ladies and gentlemen. Field work and just repetition.
But his shot is so beautiful. Like it's effortless and it looks that way and he hits his lines. And I think that's the cool thing about the backhand game is that what is the thing that you're working on right now that you're trying to maybe add to your game or maybe some sort of component that you feel like you might be able to get
Right
better
now,
at?
I'm just trying to get more used to the new discs.
Okay.
Everything changed. The Wraith went out, the Destroyer went, all that left the bag. I'm using the Alpha and the Phoenix. Those are my 2 overstable drivers.
Those are the slots that they fit in.
The Bobcat I've had for a while, so I'm fairly familiar with that.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of my oldest discs as well too.
And
First
it's
round.
starting to get more distance with
With the Bobcat,
no, with the
Anything.
pigtails.
everything in general.
Yeah.
What are you putting with it? I know it's
Bullets.
the bullets.
Have you tried the new UFO yet?
I have.
What did you think?
For short putts, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Until you're out of circle 1, that it's all the same. I prefer a more shallow putter because I have very small hands,
Mhm.
and the UFO is a little deeper than my preference would be.
That's funny. That was my reasoning behind it too, because I don't have the biggest hand, so the Prophet's a little more thin profile and fits in my hand a little better. And and this guy, but yes, he's just mad because I'm not a putter, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, it ended up just I gave him a legit try. I went out, played the whole round with the UFO, and like you said, Debbie, short putts it kind of didn't really matter, but it was a different flight when it came to those longer putts, and I like putting a lot of spin, a lot of torque, and that Prophet holds up for me. Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, just question for you, Debbie. Your vision, like, what's the ultimate goal for you that you want to accomplish in the disc golf world as far as your playing career goes?
Well, next year I'd like to. This year my goal was to hit as many of the wildflower events as I could, and just a lot of local flexes. I think I've played 23 events so far this year.
Oh, nice.
That's quite a bit.
That is
That's a lot.
that's
Like,
at least double wine.
what I initially set out to do, but there it is. I'd like to be able to branch out and try some other things,
Yeah.
things that are not just here, and to branch past the wildflower a little bit.
What courses would you want to be? Tournaments would you possibly want to be?
Got
part
your
of?
eyes on any of
I'm
them?
not real sure.
No?
Yeah, I've always just been kind of very, very local. This year it broadened some because
A
I've
little
gone to
bit, yeah.
Houston now.
Which courses are you playing? Which one are you playing for that tournament?
Spring Valley.
Spring Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never played that one. Trevor, have you played that one?
No. Yeah, me neither. But I heard there's some beautiful courses out there in Conroe and the Houston area and whatnot.
I played McDade for the Crush last year
Okay.
when we were doing the Uvalde fundraising. I was their fundraiser for
Gotcha.
Uvalde.
How's that course?
That's a beautiful course.
Yeah, I've heard a
too.
lot of good things
I
about
enjoyed that. Hard to go in and play it blind. Seems
it.
to be the way I do things.
Right. Somehow you play. I don't know. If it's-
Sometimes it slows you down.
yeah.
Because you're thinking about exactly where you need to land.
You
Where's the
can't
trouble
say this
at?
is what I usually do. You
Right.
have nothing to base
That
it
is
on.
true. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you're like mad when you don't do the shot that you executed, that you thought you should throw
Yeah.
there. And you have no expectations of what you just throw a line,
Yeah.
as opposed to picking like, okay, I want to play this shot like this. So, one I would recommend, I know I'm playing the Pineywood Open, the A tier, in I think the end of September, beginning of October. I think it's like the 29th through the 1st. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. But if you've never been to Tyler, Texas, Lindsay Park, they have Hickory, they have Cedar, and then they have Dogwood. There's 3 courses on one property. Beautiful. Dogwood is probably one of the tougher courses in Texas. Just trees everywhere. But those other courses are nice too. And you can check it out on YouTube, for the Texas States. It has been held there. I know Greg Barsby had, he redesigned, he combined a few, I don't know how I felt about that, but I wish they would have played Dogwood a little more. But Texas States is, if you have an opportunity to go out and branch out somewhere, I definitely would look into anything in Tyler. Nacogdoches has some beautiful courses. Rockwall. If you've never played Harry Myers,
I heard good things about Rockwall.
Harry Myers is a beautiful course. There's a lot of beautiful courses out there, and
So I got to go to Waco this year,
oh, the Beast.
Nice.
and that was fun. And snuck onto the Beast.
Did
Didn't know
you
we
really?
weren't supposed to be there, and we were playing it.
Yes.
And loved the wooded holes there.
Oh,
That was
that's so
fun.
nice, and a lot of people, that's one of the shorter courses on the DGPT,
Mhm.
but I feel it's like one of the harder
Yeah,
courses.
it's challenging for sure.
And it's like you either hit your line and get your birdie or par, or you miss and you're gonna get a double.
or
Pay-
triple.
Pay a bit of a price, yeah.
You're gonna pay for being aggressive, and
There's such different trees than we have here.
oh yeah,
Right,
It's
right.
like, oh, those are tall, and yeah.
no thumbers, man, no
I
thumbers.
wonder though, because like I look at Mason, I look at Valerie and Alexis, right? And I always wonder like how that wooded game here in San Antonio or Texas, how it compares to the northern. Because I see them play some of these northern tournaments, and they do fairly well when it's wooded. So I wonder if that plays a big part of
Haven't had
their
a chance to go to one of those yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, W.R. Jackson, that's definitely
I'd love to
very
see some of those.
Northwood
Yeah.
Black. I know that's on my bucket list. Definitely, Maple Hills
I think
It's
they're
tough.
like all on my bucket list, to be honest.
you never
Eventually, I
played
want to
in-
get out to all of them.
in Iowa. There is Pickard Park. They have the Des Moines Challenge there. I was blessed to be able to play there a few years ago. It's a tough course, but they're beautiful courses out there. So just if you're out anywhere, like I look at my UDisc when I'm driving around or something. I'm like, what's the nearest?
What's here? Yeah.
What's here? And
Yeah.
my wife's like, are you gonna go play disc golf? I go, yeah. Or I'll have like a few bags or a few discs in my bag, and I'll be throwing outside
Little
the
travel
hotel.
bag.
Yeah, one of those little grip bags. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because I was curious while I'm sitting here thinking. I mean, what's the tournament you got coming up, Debbie, that you're kind of most excited for, or even throwing one? I mean, is there anything in the works that you're gonna be a part of that maybe you can give us like an exclusive, on here about, any tournaments that might be coming up?
C-tier fundraiser at Monahan Ranch.
Okay, I
October
didn't hear
1st.
about
October 1st.
So,
that. Is that the weekend before their tournament?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll get people out. But
Yeah.
it's
Out there.
acting also as a fundraiser towards my wildflower event that will be on the 14th.
Perfect. Yeah.
And how can they sign up for the Wildflower Tour? For
So it
that?
opens the 14th of this month. Registration will open.
Is
If
it on
you go
Disc
to
Golf Scene?
Disc Golf Scene. I haven't put it on UDisc yet, but it's on Disc Golf Scene, and I've got it plastered all over Facebook.
So Facebook page. I'm sure there's a Wildflower page, and
And where can they reach you if, say, someone wants to be a sponsor or they want to, just kind of take place in helping y'all?
Facebook Messenger or Debby at luckyasedisc.com.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, reach out, y'all. Let's support the Wildflower event. I mean, that's how we're going to continue to grow the sport. Getting everyone out, men, women, kids, continue to grow it. And the number one way is by supporting each other. So, make sure you reach out to Debbie. Be on the lookout for any events being held by her, because anyone that I've been a part of so far, they've
very well run.
Ran pretty smoothly, no questions asked. And it's a lot of work. If you never ran one before and you're one of those who criticizes or, doesn't really know.
You always have that one.
And behind the scenes.
It's just it's a lot of work. Sometimes it takes, reaching out to a person that needs to reach out to a person.
Oh, yeah.
And then nothing sometimes moves fast, right? So always work with your TDs, appreciate them because they're doing a lot more work. And sometimes, for nothing, right? For no price. This is volunteer work. And it's all just because we're trying to grow the sport. And, that's one of the big things that Debbie's continues to do here. So anything that her name's attached to, trust it, help out, definitely follow. So
what is, like, you've talked about the Wildflower Tour, you've talked about Mint and some of the things that you've been, volunteering on, especially at the Zip. You're there constantly at the Zip, and Nani, I see you there.
Away from home.
Yeah. But what do you feel, where do you think disc golf is heading? Or where is it that you would like to see it?
I'd like to see more women involved in the minis and some of the smaller tournaments if they're nervous about the larger ones. It's still hard to get a full card if it's not a women's only tournament of women.
Right.
Do you think it's an intimidation thing, or do you think it's just I don't want to be around all these guys, or what do you think it is? Just
women tend to be weirdly hard on themselves. I'm not good enough yet to compete.
To play, yeah.
But they've got a division for that. They've got a beginning division and on up. It doesn't mean you're going to play against the top of the top. And that's the biggest thing I hear is I'm just not good enough yet.
Yeah.
Well, you'll never arrive. There's always work to be done.
Yeah, and I think it's good that, I think we've talked about this before, where it's one of those things where you just kind of got to jump in.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably surprise yourself, right? Some people even play with people who've been playing a while, so they think they need to be at a certain level, and they become harder on themselves as well too. So sometimes
that's who you watch, and you get so many tips just from watching.
Right, and they don't realize this is free lessons right here for me by joining up and playing with some of these women, and again, just got to go out, give it a try, grow with it. What's one thing, Debbie? Because you obviously just picked it up 3 years ago. I picked it up 3 years ago, and I know I've dealt with a lot of frustrations. I've dealt with a lot of just ups and downs. What's one thing that you, coming from your, where you came from as far as just kind of seeing it as you were walking through the park to today? What's some advice that you can give other amateurs, other, women that might be like, hey, you know what? I want to give it a
questions.
Try. Yeah?
It's safe to ask almost anybody.
Right.
I think the disc golf community is good about that.
They're very good about that.
Yeah.
I know in the beginning when I felt that I had questions, and I never considered myself really all that outgoing. Great in the classroom, I can do all that, but in an adult setting, I kind of blended.
They're just random people, right? It's a little intimidating sometimes.
We kind of noticed somebody who threw well, and hey, can you watch what I'm doing, which was a big stretch. What would you say I need to try next, or what disc might be? And they were everybody has been very good.
Touching on that, you
Who
said
helped you?
The first person to take me under their wing was a man named Joel Mick.
Okay.
And probably worked out a lot of bad habits. He was the first one within probably the first 6 months I was playing.
Okay, cool.
Kind of helped reshape what I was doing. And then since then, Cam Douglas has kind of taken over that role. He says play old man golf.
Hey, well, you got to keep it in the middle.
Which is funny because Joel is an old man, so it kind of fit.
But I guess
so he's trying to freshen up my game a little bit and help me see things differently.
It's about managing the game as well. And I think when a lot of people talk about old man golf, that's really what it is. They're kicking your butt literally by keeping it in it's managing the course. And courses like the Ranch or Moody's or Roy G now, you have to manage the course. You have to play golf. And I think that Worlds kind of showed us that as well.
Yeah.
Those that managed the course well did well.
Because Isaac doesn't throw the furthest or nothing like that.
He does bomb.
Yeah,
he does bomb at least 550, 525, easy.
but compared to the Heimbergs and Barellas and Eagles,
That's true.
you know.
Eagle did.
Yeah,
Throw
my
this
my
sick
strength
shot.
is not distance. 220-ish is kind of where I top out.
Yeah.
I'd love to hit 250 on a consistent level. That's kind of where I'm pushing. But it's more about being consistent with knowing where the disc is going to lie, not changing the bag around so much so I know what those discs will do.
For sure, yeah, and that's a big
So
part of it. I
Most
think.
of my wins come from consistency.
Yeah.
And eventually, where people like Kristen, you know, I think she just kind of strides on, and then people just kind of mess up around her.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how things are going, and like definitely the challenge with distance has been my thing too. But it's form, and you see, is there anybody that you like to model your game off of, or you like to watch?
And I don't watch myself. It's awkward in the video, but people say that I have a very smooth throw.
I've seen you throw. You do throw very smooth. Doesn't look
I
like you're
watch
swinging on
Mason
your.
a lot. There's
Mason?
not a lot of power to it. It's definitely become more form as I've dialed that in. There's still more dialing to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to get
Always.
a next step worked in there again. I lost all my timing with that, so I'm a standstill thrower right now.
And that's a beautiful thing about disc golf, right? Is that, you know, I think I've said it before, but it's like an always improving kind of thing, right? Like you think you've reached like,
It's
okay,
always evolving.
right? It's like this is okay. You know, I'm doing pretty good right now. This is the best I'm gonna get. This is the furthest I'm gonna throw. This is the furthest my putt's gonna get, and my up shots are not gonna get better than this. And then you find a way to just keep elevating your
Putts that
game.
were hard last year are no big deal this year.
Right,
So,
you just look at them differently, and you know, it's the mental thing, right? Like I think there's a lot of people MA1 that could throw just as far as MPO, you know, putt just as good as them. The biggest thing though is putting it together for 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. Like,
it's
Consistency.
easy
that's
to
the
be
hard thing.
focused for 9-10 holes,
Right.
and then you start.
There's
it's
a difference
fatiguing.
between
It's
1,000
very
rated
fatiguing.
player and a 960 rated player,
Yeah,
and I think
And
that's
a 930
significant.
rated player. You know,
I think it's definitely significant, and I'm not a big ratings person, but I think at the end of the day, you know, they're kind of accurate. You know, it kind of gives you a ballpark of where that person is, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just try to get better at every tournament and shoot at least above your rating or at your rating. And is that something you think about, or not really, or?
Not during the round. My goal usually is to try to be higher than my rating. That hadn't happened lately, but again, I'm learning new
Yeah,
things.
happens,
Growing pains are hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that'll start happening now. I feel more comfortable with the bag now.
That's good. Yeah, and I get such a hard switch. I know seeing Rob, he sponsored to his, shout out to his sponsor, Gateway, Wizard, everything like that.
I love
I think he do a lot of mints as well too. Got sponsored by Wizard and Gateway, and I could tell during that transition,
It's frustrating.
it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. I think I saw him play some of his worst rounds during that time. 100%, 360, 180 degree, whatever.
It's hard to find a
Now
disc
from
that does
last year?
exactly what your other one.
Right.
The
But
numbers
I-
may be the same, but the disc is not.
But the disc is
feel
different,
is
and
not.
the feel is different. But I'd say the consistency now, it's a lot less effortless, and I think I'm not the.
Well,
Sorry
I think the biggest thing is you trust your disc now.
It's
You know
mental,
what
too.
they're gonna do.
It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I was convinced I could throw my Wraith and I could throw my Diamond, and I do.
Yeah.
I wasn't as convinced I could throw the other discs. So when I made that mental shift, I started throwing them better.
And just trying out different discs. I mean, I think just going out to a field. I guess the other advice that you give amateurs is definitely going out to a field and throwing your disc and knowing what they do. I don't know how many times I've stopped amateurs. They pull out their disc and I'm like, no, don't. It's not that one. It's not that one. And it's just even today. I mean, a lot of my bad shots are just wrong disc selection. That's not necessarily a bad shot. It's just I just threw the wrong disc. And now I think those are pieces of games that now I know me and Chris, we talk a lot about the breakdown of the game and really more so the strategy of, why to throw a slower speed disc in a tight tunnel versus a fast speed disc because it's going to get there quicker. Or we'll break down the game on
But
a
that
different
kid will
level.
get there almost the exact same distance.
Right,
Very
exactly.
little difference in distance.
And the effort, and I think that has changed my game tremendously. And is there anything that has changed your game? The mindset. I know you mentioned something about mindset, but
What was a turning point for you? Like from when you were playing, I mean, I know you said learning the bag, everything like that, but as far as just like what was a big turning point as far as your career? Like to, like playing this casually to, you know what, I want to do tournaments. I want to play a little bit more competitively?
Most of the people I play with are guys because the women are just, well, one, not on my side of town.
Yeah.
Most of the women's group are on the northeast side. And
There are a lot on our side
quite
of
a drive
town.
for me to get there,
Yeah.
and or vice versa. So there's not as many. And I want to keep up with the guys the best I can. And the only way to do that is to get better.
Right, yeah.
I've had to learn my game is not their game and vice versa.
Stay within your
And
game during
that's
that round.
been the biggest shift. They throw hard to get far. I throw hard and bad things happen. And I do better with the smoother, and I will catch myself trying to power up when I should not. And once I can catch that and I go back to playing my own game, I score better.
Yeah, and that's a big part. It's funny, I tell my brother that all the time. You know, he's an AMP player. I'd be like, you know, most important thing, brother, you gotta play your game.
Know your game.
You guys gotta play your game, know your game, and I
Go with
think
what you know.
it's getting there. So it's always good seeing that transition from someone just picking up the disc for the first time and then, you know, now creating memories, you know,
Right.
for themselves. So that's awesome. But you know, talking about memories, I guess something we've always asked on, right? You know, what's a special memory in the disc golf scene so far that you've experienced or had or been a part of that you'll always remember it? Like it's one thing that's embedded.
Tournament wise would be probably last year at the WTF Open. I was still playing FA3.
And where was that at?
Not a man. At the ranch.
Okay.
And but it was one of the biggest. It was all female, so it was a huge pull for me. Usually, 3 to 5. Ooh, you got a big card.
You got a big card.
We had like 27 or 20 something of us in the pool.
Oh wow.
And I just went out and I was just kind of just playing my game the best I could, and I was tied for first.
Wow.
And so we went to a playoff. I want to say we took 6 holes.
Wow.
And
What holes? 1 through 6? Oh dang.
And
No joke.
she
No,
got,
no,
she
for
got
real.
me on the 6th one.
Oh,
my
man.
my upshot, I remember if it hit a tree and deflected, it didn't hit the line where it needed to, and hers was parked and she made the putt and I didn't. But
Is
that
that
was
the par 4 over the creek or
I
so?
don't remember.
Yeah.
I've only been there a couple of times. I just
Gotcha.
remember we just kept going and going and going and going.
And if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, another 6 holes after the 18-hole round, that's no joke. I mean, that's another,
It's just
hour
exciting.
of play? Another
That
hour
was
of
only
play?
2 of us that went quick.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Still
but
a walk though.
that's another, that's 6 holes.
But it was fun. But keeping it mental focus
Yeah,
again that
for-
time.
And having to turn it on that long
Yeah.
and focus
24
that
it
much
was
more.
exciting
Yeah.
just to know that.
So that was a good
I'm
experience for
into
you.
that. And,
Yeah.
I could be your grandma. Kind of thing. I'm playing with kids.
That's awesome.
So I was
No.
proud of myself for that.
Yeah, of course, and that sounds like a personal accomplishment. I mean, that's something I think I always remember my first. I guess I love Red Rock because that was my first tournament ever. I shot a wonderful plus 30 out there, so definitely always remember that. But I mean, you always remember your first,
Yeah, wasn't
big
paying attention
tournaments.
to the score after the first round. I just, I'm on lead card. That must be good.
It
Yeah,
must be
I
good.
did,
and that was last year.
Mhm.
Okay.
And definitely, sometimes you take a lot more from the losses than you do from the wins. And that's, thank you for sharing that experience. Now,
second
what has
round
been
definitely went better.
What has been your most
But-
challenging experience that you felt yourself most tested? Emotionally, physically, anything really?
Well, hold on. I know you said as a player it was that, but were you gonna say something
yeah,
else as far as like running? Is it running like Lucky A's, being a part of something?
All right, so Cameron and I put together in December last year, we did a parent-child fundraiser
I played that.
tournament.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I think we raised a little over $2,000
Nice.
worth of toys, and Santa was there to pass out the players' packs
Yeah.
and the medals, and that was a lot of fun. That'll always be a big memory. I think that made big impressions on the kids
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that
and
were there.
I definitely
It was a
say-
fun event.
Yeah, and I say keep pushing that because, like, I know y'all tried to run one recently, didn't get a whole bunch of traction, but I think here in the
Timing, I think, is part of
timing
it.
and coming months of like better months with the weather and things like that,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
They ever
that'll.
quit working on Van Air Road.
Oh my
The
goodness!
construction is horrible.
Yeah, that's makes it about a hour trip for both me and Rob every time we go
It's
out
a
there.
big deal.
Yeah, so hopefully that gets done. But I guess it's all for the better, right? Hopefully in the next 20 years they got that wrapped up.
When it's done, it'll be nice.
But yeah, no, I would definitely say, the kid, raising, how do I say, increasing the amount of kid functions and tournaments.
Always
and all
trying
that.
to. There's
Yeah.
a little a child with his dad. We were at Baby for Aces High. We were doing a.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the Little
Doubles.
Helotes 9-hole.
Yeah. We went to that one too.
And
Yeah.
there was a father-son, and I gave the son a disc. I told him, it makes me so happy to see families out here and to see kids out here, not doing this all day.
Oh yeah.
And gave him a disc, and they asked, well, it was funny because they did, are you Debbie? I said, oh, I guess I am.
Yes, I am.
It's amazing. Yeah, people know me, and it's like
I'm your local disc golf tour guide.
I'm a local rock star.
They asked to take a picture with me. It was very sweet.
That's cool,
but just to see kids out there, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, and that's what
That's really what
shout
I
out
was
again,
saying.
Texas Junior Disc Golf. They sponsor
Thomas
my kids.
Parks doing
Thomas Parks,
great.
yeah,
I
Mario.
love them.
Yeah, they've done great things so far, ran great tournaments. I really wish more people would make it out. It's like you have a father-son tournament and 110 people make it out, but you have a kid and then 10 kids.
And
It's like, so we got to,
And I'd love to. We've toyed with that, but we don't get great turnouts.
Yeah.
We tried it at Baby H, thinking that was a kid-friendly course, which I think would be the ideal place.
you got to start
the
adding
turnouts
a
are-
$500 cash for
There you
the
go.
tournament. No,
but I would really like to see growing the
yeah,
youth.
I would like to see more involvement for sure, and supporting of anyone that does it for sure, because that's the future. Like you mentioned earlier, you wish you would have picked it up early. I mean, our kids are picking it up early,
I know.
and so it's a good. I mean, basically they're in the midst of it all. Like this is like when basketball started, football started. I mean, this is disc golf starting, and I think it's just going to continue to grow.
And kids in sports, it helps with focus, which helps in the classroom,
Yeah, discipline.
which does so many.
Yeah.
good
Discipline, and
things.
So-
definitely discipline.
Parents, please get your kiddos out. It's fun. It's something that everyone could do. Me and my family do it as a family. Rob does too. I mean, it's really fun stuff. It's for everyone. When I say it's for everyone, it's literally for everyone. Even a toddler, 2-3 years old, get them out there. They'll have fun. Yeah, get some energy out. They got to get it out one way or another. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I mean, Debbie.
So, Debbie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And you've done a great job in the community. And how can people get in contact with you and anything that you're involved in?
And
Once
anything
again,
else
just
you
kind
want
of
to
repeat.
say? Yeah, anything else you want to say, let people know before we go. Anything that again, announcements that maybe can help you, or we can help you get that word out.
The Facebook is the easiest way probably to get a hold of me.
Okay.
That's
Debbie
how most
Anders.
people find me. Debbie with a Y.
Debbie with a Y.
And or come out to the Zip.
Yeah.
I'm there usually 8:30 to 3:30.
Yeah, I don't think
Weather
I've ever
starts
gone and you weren't
changing.
there.
That's true.
If somebody needs me at a different time,
You're very
it's the nice
flexible.
part about being
Yeah.
mostly retired, just sort of fell in my lap. But
Yeah.
I'll pop out there. I had somebody that needed me out there at 8 today, so I can be there. That's not a problem. Just set the clock.
No, that's cool stuff. I mean, any announcements that you want to make?
Not a whole
Shout outs?
lot.
Anything
Well,
to
shout
look
out to
forward
Lexi
to?
Ace and Mint for sure.
Okay, cool.
Shout
Yeah.
out to those guys. And
I have to say, Jay has given me the platform to do a lot of what I do.
and you've done a great job with Lucky Ace, and I've seen the
He's
take off.
slowly turned more and more over to me, or let me take over.
Yeah.
It depends on which one of us you
You
ask
add
how that goes.
You add that Debbie touch.
That's what he says. But he lets me try anything I want, which has been really very exciting, and that's where I could be no more thankful than that.
That's good.
He's been really great.
Nice. Yeah, and we look forward to more to come. Again, disc golf is, I feel, just barely starting, and
Especially
It's
in San
definitely
Antonio,
boom.
it's scratch the surface.
right.
We need more courses.
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, I'm seeing every day on Facebook, hey, I'm new to the area. I mean, so we gotta,
I've
You know.
seen a lot of that.
yeah.
I love that. I love seeing that.
And I guess that's why we do this show, right? So everyone knows who everyone is in the city, who plays a big role, who plays a big part. I mean, we want to not just put Disc Kings on the map, or we want to put everyone on the map here in San Antonio. We want it to be a hub spot. I mean, and then you got another great disc golf city close by, Austin. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe
Austin's huge. I would love for our disc golf scene to.
right, collaborate a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
We
There's
got
something in the works, and we got
Yeah.
some things working and coming up, and we're definitely excited where the game's going. And Debbie, you're definitely a testament to that. And we can't be more thankful for what you do for the community, and
continue to do it. Yeah,
and continue to
to
rock
do
on.
it your
And
way.
good luck on your season, the rest of
Thank
it,
you.
what's left of it, and we look forward to seeing your journey continue.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be bigger next year. Not so many flexes, but maybe more.
More
Going
B
out
tiers,
and
C
about.
tiers, A tiers.
Yeah, well, I'd love to hear the progress it makes in the next time we have you on, right? Just kind of see what's happened, in between those times. And I could imagine it's going to
From
be
this last year to this year, more than I would have ever thought.
right.
It's
Oh, yeah.
changed,
And then
so.
now with more women involved and you having to, play a part in that, and then just with everything, right? Whether it's the course, whether it's the shop, whether it's your personal career, and being a TD. I mean, I'm excited to hear what what it brings over the next year.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see where it takes me.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much
Yes, thank
for
you.
joining us. And you can subscribe to us on the Disc and That podcast show on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We are getting ready to add our Instagram and all those other handles and stuff like that, but please bear with us. But thank you so much for coming on this journey. And
And guys, if there's someone who wants to be part of the show, maybe you want to get your name out, maybe you just want to come and chat with us, write us a message, send out a
Reach out to us on
comment.
Facebook.
We would love to have anyone on. Again, even if it's not local here in San Antonio, we're trying to put Texas on the map. I mean, it already is, but we just want to highlight everyone that plays an important role in the community. So again, anyone and everyone, we would love to have you on and just kind of keep this going, but continue to support us, like, subscribe, and continue to listen in and tune into us every Friday.